Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the I-5 Corridors Traffic Report. Tyson Alger here, joined by Justin Myers.
Yes.
It is a lovely Tuesday as we are recording this in Portland, Oregon. It's like 80 degrees out, Justin. If you're watching this on YouTube, you actually got some nice mood lighting on your right arm there. It really kind of...
I really do. Hopefully that as the sun in the I-5 Corridor Traffic Report studios in the sunlight doesn't get too much into the face, because you and I both have the SPF 45 skin.
Yeah.
Like we live in SPF 45, and I'm afraid, like, if this sun traces any more, like, we might have to pause it.
Yeah, and our health insurance plan for the corridor is not great. But that reminds me, so I was in LA this weekend covering the Ducks versus Bruins baseball series, and Jackie Robinson Stadium is awesome. Like as a baseball nerd, you just like walk into this place, and it's not like a cathedral. It's not like one of these like big, gaudy, massive places. It's just this kind of beautiful little baseball stadium tucked into like these trees and palm trees, and but they have one bathroom in the whole facility. They don't really have a press box, and so like the situation that we had set up was they had kind of like a porta tent sort of thing, and you had Joey McMurray doing the broadcast there. You had Todd Miles doing the stats next to him, and I was on the very edge of the tent. So half of me was exposed to the elements, and half of me was inside. And the first two nights, this was fine because it was 6:30 p.m.
Yeah.
It actually got a little bit chilly. You know, the fog rolls in, and but on Sunday, 12 p.m. first pitch, glorious weather, and the entire game, my left leg and left arm are directly in the sun, and my right leg is shaded, and I'm just like trying to remember what I learned from basic high school space patterns, and thinking like where the sun rises in the east.
Wait, which way are we facing?
What angle are we going?
Wait, the pitcher's mound. Yeah. That's why a southpaw is called a southpaw. That's south. That one.
And no, it just kept revealing more of me until it eventually arrived on the bald spot on top of the head. And so that's why I'm wearing a hat today.
Gotcha.
I'm a little bit itchy, but it's also kind of nice to get a baseball sunburn on the clock.
Yeah, that Southern California sun. She's a temptress. She will bring you in.
Man, so I was there. I flew in early on Friday, got back late Sunday. It was me and the University of Portland baseball team delayed for like 4 hours together in LAX.
Which is good, because I believe last week you dropped, maybe it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I think you dropped like the best chance of any team to make the NCAA tournament or to make Omaha was Portland.
Right.
The pesky pilots, as you called them. I don't know if word got back to said pesky pilots, and if they were just like, you shall sit in our...
If word got back, there's some sort of corridor curse going on, because they got swept three games down there, and then they were in the airport for about 6 hours. Those boys looked pretty tired by the time they finally got on the plane.
Tough beat.
But yeah, I was down there for 3 days, and I was telling you when you got here, Justin, I did the thing, like, I don't want to be a Los Angeles person. You know, I grew up about as far away from Los Angeles as you can get, up in Alaska. You know, you don't want to like the traffic. You don't want to like the people. You don't want to like just kind of the general vainness of Hollywood, right? Would you be willing to do this podcast remotely?
You're going back.
Yeah, I'm heading back. I don't know, man. It was just like great weather, and you just get in like this mood of like you're in LA and you get in your rental car, and like right away there's already like Tupac playing like on you just like feel like you're in.
And then like I don't know if you do this every once in a while. I do it when you go to LA, and where you see something that you have seen in pop culture. You mentioned Tupac, like. Just his verse alone in California Love, and you drive on Rosecrans and you're like, oh, there's Rosecrans. Tupac told me about that. Or you see the Hollywood sign, or you see the theater, and you do like any of like, you see something that you would see or hear about in some sort of pop culture reference. And to me, that's the siren song of LA. Is like you get there and you're like, oh, I know that because I heard Tupac tell me all about driving on Rosecrans?
On Sunday morning before the Ducks played, they played at noon. I went and got coffee with Miriam Swanson, who is a former Daily Emerald sports editor, now sports columnist for the Los Angeles Times. And she's like, "Hey, just meet me at this spot. It's convenient enough for you to get to the stadium." And I'm like looking at the directions, and it's just like Sunset Boulevard. I was like, "Oh." Man,
I've heard of that.
Boy, you get to be calling this the LA Times. All of a sudden, you're throwing people around Sunset Boulevard.
Maybe a coffee on Sunset.
Yeah, and I always just think of the Mighty Ducks scene, and I think it was D2 when they go to California and they just get kicked out of all the. They try to like Pretty Woman it. They try to go into like all the fancy clothing stores, and you get kicked out.
Yeah, with the timely reference of pretending to be nephews of Aaron Spelling to get into the department store. Yeah,
exactly.
D2 Mighty Ducks. I mean, we may have to do some sort of breakdown of that movie.
Yeah.
Where is that hockey movie hierarchy? Not to like derail the podcast, but we're going to derail it a lot today. Just fair warning.
Yeah, this is not going to be. I know you guys come here for the structure and the consistency, but today is going to be all over the place because it's May 12th.
Yep.
13th.
So of hockey movies, where's D2 The Mighty Ducks? Because it's not Mighty Ducks 2. It is D2 The Mighty Ducks. For those wondering, it was a ripoff of T2, which was the promotional poster for Terminator 2. Arnold Schwarzenegger against the T-1000. He was a liquid metal robot. All that. Skynet. It's a big deal. So D2 The Mighty Ducks poster. Got Mighty Ducks. Trinidad and Tobago was their first match in the Junior Goodwill Games. Junior Goodwill Games don't think was the thing.
The movie poster, it's Goldberg blowing the bubblegum
with Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah. Not Iceland, by the way, which is interesting because that's the big rival. But they put Trinidad and Tobago on the poster. Where does D2? Where does it rank?
So there's a couple different like hockey movie categories because like you have. Kind of the Disneyified one. So like you have like your Mighty Ducks or I guess those are pretty much it.
Just all the Mighty Ducks. The three Mighty Ducks.
D2 is at the top of the hierarchy, even for most like players. I can't tell you the last time I played in a men's league game here where at the end of the game I didn't say like, let's go shake their hands. As the Iceland coach says, or as the Iceland captain says after he fails to score on Julie the Cat Gaffney.
Yeah,
because he goes triple deke and she knows he's shooting glove side, but also like their whole definition of what a deke is and that like it's like he does it and then he stops, which takes out the whole point of actually like, doing
a triple deke. Yeah, but that's the majesty of Gunnar Stahl. Gunnar Stahl, the captain of Iceland. I wonder if he made it to the NHL. So what if he had did he have a better career than Wolf the Dentist Stanson, who was the mean coach? For Iceland.
So yeah, D2 is definitely at the top because you have characters you already liked, but you got the introduction of the Knuckle Puck.
Yep.
You got the introduction of the Bash Brothers, like things that like are still like very heartfelt to this series. I think number one is the second one, like the original Mighty Ducks. You know, it's the rise and fall of Emilio. It's he's a hotshot lawyer and turns out to be a hotshot hockey coach, but I still quote that one a lot of times too.
The original Mighty Ducks.
When somebody gets
drive out on the ice.
When somebody gets like slashed in one of our games, I yell, "He could have took his arm off." My buddy Sammy is always asking me like, "You get one of those a game? Like how do you choose?" And I was like,
"Take the fall, act hurt, get indignant."
It just comes to me, but and then like nobody cares about the third one. But then you get older, and then you like get into the like. You know, there's other hockey movies. There's Miracle. There's which every.
I mean, like that's the best one, right?
It's a good one. It was a nightmare for any kid who was on kind of a shitty, like Pee Wee or Bantam hockey team at the time because every coach who watched that movie
had to get that speech.
Saw the scene where it's again, and so our team ended up like having. Like 2 to 3 practices a week where I felt like we didn't even break pucks out. It was just like, we're going to skate the hell out of you. Which turns out that year we won the state championship game in 7 overtimes.
Probably because of that dedication to skating.
It also might have been because they didn't zam the ice between any of the overtimes. So by the time we got to the 7th, it's like you're playing on gravel, and we won on a puck that was like chipped in from like the red line, and it bounced. And
hey. Lamp went up, right?
You can't take that banner away.
Never. Banners fly forever.
So, like, but I also can't remember the last time I watched Miracle. Slapshot is, I think Slapshot is like what you progress into as like your favorite hockey movie. They actually just did a screening of it at the Hollywood Theater a couple weeks ago. I don't know why they did it. Maybe it was some anniversary. I always liked Mystery Alaska.
Yeah, that's my...
Because Mystery Alaska,
that's
Mystery
like
Alaska was our
show.
fantasy in Alaska too. It was just like,
Gotcha.
maybe the New York Rangers are going to show up to our little town, and Russell Crowe puts together a pretty good.
And
is
you
it Russell
probably
Crowe?
Yeah, Russell Crowe. What was his name? Beebe, I think was his name in the... Yeah, he was a sheriff, Sheriff Beebe.
I remember watching that on hockey road trips. Like one kid on the team had one of the portable DVD players, and so you like put that in there, lift the screen up, and you got to give it to the kid who like doesn't wobble the most because we didn't have really great skip protection.
What's interesting is in that, not that I would ever insinuate that you can't skate because you can skate, but Hank Azaria plays a character in there. He's a born and raised Alaskan, and then he becomes a writer. Who then moves to the lower 48, sports writer, and
sellouts as they call them up. Up in
so
Alaska.
I just wonder, did you relate more to the very angry townsfolk of Mystery Alaska who are like, you couldn't even skate, that's why you left this town, or did you relate to the I got dreams too big for this tiny little town?
I mean, the beauty of me is I can be a bit of a chameleon, Justin. I can talk shit about the townsfolk to the city guy, and I can talk shit about the city guy to the townsfolk, and I'll still go right down the middle.
I feel the same way with my small town cred. Well, not an Alaskan. I am an Oregonian, but I grew up in a very small town, and I can fit in any bar. Basically, is what kind of we're saying. So I'm with you. I love Mystery Alaska. Little did I think we would get into hockey
our
movies
favorite
in
hockey
May.
movies in the top 15 minutes of our podcast here in Portland, Oregon.
Also, the movie was it Youngblood? I liked Youngblood mostly because I think I watched it with some older kids, and there was some 80s gratuitous nudity, and as a child, I would pique my interest, and I was like, well, I think I love Youngblood. I think this is the greatest movie of all time. So I got to throw that one.
I got to learn how to skate.
Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe. What a great movie. You got to toughen him up. All right.
You want to talk about Roadhouse?
We could. I mean, the Double Deuce.
Just do a whole Roadhouse.
Why did so many people in small town Missouri know karate is what I wonder. Like, I get why Dalton knows karate because he's the cooler. He's a world famous cooler. He goes from bar to bar. But also every henchman from small Missouri, businessman, I don't know what he did. Like, he just... but they all knew karate.
There were far more movies with martial arts in it back then, though. I just feel like that was at the, if like we really made you like pressed you to it, you could probably throw together like some sort of TikTok dance right now, just because that's what everyone's doing, and people like back then everyone's watching karate.
When I was a child, and I watched The Karate Kid, and in The Karate Kid, the crane kick. Mr. Miyagi famously says, if done correct, there is no defense, which means if you do the crane kick right, nobody can defend it. No can defend. I believed that with my whole heart, just as I believed Hulk Hogan was a heavyweight champion of the world back then. It was 1986. It was a different time. If we just didn't have to know about the Hulkster. But anyways, neither here nor there. So I believed fully as a 7-year-old that if you did the crane kick correctly, nobody can defend it. And so I had that in my back pocket. Like, if any bullies rolled up, I was like, I will crane kick you. I watched Karate Kid at least a dozen times, and you can't defend it.
Crane kicking in the backyard? Or were you practicing?
Well, you don't really need to practice the crane kick. You just know that if you do it right, nobody can defend it.
You don't see the crane out there practicing.
So you just have
instinct
that in your back pocket. Yes.
Please tell me there's a conclusion to this. Like,
there really isn't.
Was there no attempted crane kick?
None.
Or you still even haven't you haven't had that disproven to you, so actually you're talking about this like a hypothetical, but when really you're ready to strike me at any given point.
Yeah. Come get this smoke. All right, I do have an Oregon football topic I'd like to. How long are we into this? What are we, 15 minutes in?
15 minutes in.
All right, thank you for sticking around, the three of you and our parents. So
happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Absolutely. Let me start with this. there are like economists and like very smart people out there that Tyson, they've crunched the numbers, and they have found like there is a specific amount of income that is like the perfect income.
Okay.
To where you're not living paycheck to paycheck, but also like you're not so wealthy that the money becomes something you have to handle and deal with. There's like a money sweet spot, and then, as Notorious B.I.G. famously said, "Mo money, mo problems." And then you get to the point where you almost have too much money, and then you have to deal with the trappings of dealing with that kind of money. You're out of the sweet spot.
It's like a power hitter in the late 90s, early 2000s who hit like 35 home runs. You're safe.
Yeah.
Like you're making a good paycheck. Nobody's asking questions.
None whatsoever. By the way, more on that later.
Yeah.
Has Oregon recruiting, which we were right in like the heart of kind of Oregon recruiting season, is it like out of the sweet spot? Because when I became an Oregon fan as a young child, nobody knew what recruiting really was. Then in the 90s, we had like publications. Then the star system happened. And for the most part, Oregon fans were the typical, no, we get the 3-star guys that nobody knows the true value of. We're moneyballing it.
Our guys.
Yes. If I had to hear one more time about how Patrick Chung was a 2-star recruit, but like that was the story every time. Like that was 2-star recruit, and that Bellotti was a genius because he could find these diamonds in the rough, and that was where Oregon recruiting was. Then it got to the point where I kind of consider it the sweet spot, which is every once in a while you get Haloti Ngata, like the number 3 recruit in the country. He's coming here. Jonathan Stewart's the best running back in the country. He's coming here. And you would get like 1 or 2 guys that Washington or USC really wanted, and you would get them, and you're like, this is awesome. You have my full recruiting attention. Now, I can't keep up with it. The recruiting riches that Oregon has amassed has now fallen out of the sweet spot of me getting excited about Jonathan Stewart signing with Oregon, to where now it's almost like it's just too much. I think some offensive lineman was on Pat McAfee this week, did the rip the sweat wearing the Oregon stuff. I'm going to Oregon, says for the next 3 to 4 years. I hope so. Transfer portal's easy, but I think I'm to the point where it's just too much, and I can't keep track.
Well, I feel
it's a good problem to have, but my question is Oregon now out of the recruiting sweet spot to where you could even like keep up with it or get excited about one specific player because there's just too much. There's just too much good stuff. AM PM.
I'd be Chungus. I'd be curious to see what the recruiting site, like the Oregon recruiting sites, are doing, like page views wise, numbers wise, in this era versus maybe 10 years ago. Because if you even go back 5 years, like if we're in 2020, 2021, I bet you if I gave you enough time, you could probably list 95% of the 5-star players in Oregon history.
Yes.
Because they were generational. You maybe got one every 2 or 3 years. Like you knew who they were. You knew the ones who worked, or like that it worked out for. You knew like the couple that like were busts. I bet you can't name the 5 stars in Oregon's current class, or how many they signed last year, and I remember when that kind of started to change a little bit, because it really started during the Cristobal era. And you kind of got a couple 5 stars, but then there was like one class where it was Noah Sewell, Justin Flo, and Dante Wright, like all on the same day. And all of them were like 5-star guys. All of them were guys that like would have been like basically like headlines of like any other Oregon class in history. And like that was still a massive day for that program, but it kind of felt like they kind of like set this thing up, like, you know, like whenever like Steve Jobs would have like a big Apple event and they get through like the entire thing and everyone's already like, this is awesome. And then he goes, but wait, there's still one more thing. I felt like that kind of set up an expectation for like Oregon and its fans of like, okay, like we've gone from like getting diamonds in the rough to now we're getting a mixture, and now it just feels like it's getting better and better and better. And now you're just at the point again, like where you're one of those schools that Oregon fans used to like really thump its chest about being like, oh, we beat them as a finalist, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just diluted. And that's kind of what you need to play at this level. And so like, it's not necessarily quite as special because I think there was so few of them back in the day that like you really truly believe, like you hadn't had enough 5 stars fail so that fans were still like, oh my God, this could be the guy that really like takes us over the edge.
Yeah, so because it's interesting from a football standpoint, that like this is an awesome thing for Oregon, right? The way that they are recruiting, the way that they can compete in NIL, like from a football perspective, it's the best. The sun has now moved into my eyes, but you know what? I'm going to power through this.
I think I got a remote here somewhere that might. Anyway,
but from a fan wanting to enjoy Oregon recruiting, I think they've lost me.
Well,
I think they've lost because you mentioned, and I think there was a specific point. You mentioned Justin Flo. I remember that class specifically, and of course you saw the pictures of Justin Flo, and you were like, this guy is going to win every defensive award possible because he looked like a cartoon.
Yeah.
And like clearly no one is going to ever be able to block this guy. Clearly, he might, like, when was the last time a defensive player won the Heisman? He might do it.
Right.
And then, as it turns out, struggle with being in the right place at the right time. Didn't really understand defensive concepts all that well. Maybe in high school relied too much on just pure raw ability instead of knowledge of the game. Who knows? I wish him well. But I remember, like, when Justin Flo left and Oregon fans, even myself, were like,
yeah,
all right, that's... best of luck, but yeah, it wasn't working out. Whereas before, any 5-star who it was not working was pure panic.
Oh,
it was
I remember,
pure panic.
It was Canton Kamatule. Do you remember that name? It was 2020. I think it was Helfrich's. It was supposed to be like Helfrich's like big get at like post national championship game. He was a 5-star defensive lineman. I think at the time he was Oregon's. I think when they signed Kayvon like knocked him off the pedestal of like being like their top rated and he had a couple concussions early in his career. He had a hard time just kind of like adjusting, and like it was this big it ended up being this big kind of flame out. But I remember it was like weeks and weeks and weeks of like, you know, Canton stories of just like, you know, there was always kind of like this one, like you had to get the update on him because like everybody wanted to know how this one guy was doing. And now it's just that attention is spread out amongst about like 60 guys on the roster.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I see the Dan Lanning tweet of, you know, the duck emoji, and then you see like the recruiting news that pops up because he can't say it, but then it pops up. Or like I said, I saw this clip of, I don't even know the kid's name. I hope he's awesome for the next 3 to 4 years. But he's on McAfee, like the whole family's wearing the Oregon gear, and like I saw that and I just and scrolled through, and I had a thought to myself, I'm like, this is an interesting point in Oregon recruiting, because we've clearly now gone beyond the sweet spot of getting excited about, you know, it's they like us,
right?
To where now it's like, well, of course they do.
Well, and I think there's also just like the aspect of it is May right now too, and you're getting these big name recruits. Nothing's official till at least December when they put their name on paper. Maybe there's different ways, like the NIL contracts and deals, like maybe shore that up.
Yeah, we did have a kid jump in a pool. Was that
yeah,
May?
the pool jumper. That was right after the spring game 2 years, or was that last year?
I think it was last year.
But like, I mean, like even, you know, I remember writing a relatively larger profile on Dante Moore when he first committed to Oregon like 4 or 5 years ago, and then 3 months later he signs with UCLA, and you just kind of go like, boy, is it worth putting effort into like, getting to know these guys until they're actually on the field and making a difference? I think that's kind of the tougher thing.
Yeah, it's a weird world, and I know they're trying to like kind of fix some of it. I don't have faith that they will, because the same people that ruined college football are now trying to fix what they ruined. And as somebody who
trying to figure out who did this.
We're all trying to figure out who did this. As someone who tries to fix things that I break around my house, yeah, it doesn't usually go well. But I wonder, is it ever gonna get back to where, like, not like when commitment meant something, but it used to mean stuff. You committed to a school, and then you, like, if another school came in and, like, got you to flip, like, that was almost like, that was highway robbery. That was felonious.
I mean, you just have to respect the decision. You have to.
Oh my, yeah.
I do. Going back to, like, the duck tweets. I still think it's funny that in this day and age they still have, like, those goofy rules of, like, oh, the coach can't mention a player's name, and it's just
when clearly everyone is throwing it out there. We all know what happened. Also on the Oregon front, it's interesting. Every once in a while, I get a little bit self-conscious about maybe some of the stuff we talk about, because it's just two guys. Yeah, we're just two guys jabbering, and you wonder, like, did that really land? Like, when we're done, like, I'm gonna think back. Did we need to do 10 minutes on hockey movies? I don't know, but we did. And I think, was it last week we got into whether or not Oregon was a blue blood in a very interesting way. We were comparing them to tech companies. And then I was like, did we just do that? Is Oregon a blue blood? And something happened, Tyson, that made me just smile. Because I'm scrolling through social media and I see a prominent college football media member who may also have played tight end at Oregon tweet out a YouTube clip of, is Oregon the new blue blood? And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
It's not just us.
Yeah.
That felt good. Felt good.
Like, that's the thing about us, is we think we're above it. We think we're better than it, just because we talk circles around of getting to it. But then we still get to the exact.
We get right into it. It's what the people want.
We're no better than anybody else. Well, what else did you want to zag to today? I know you had some ideas.
Yeah, so fair warning for this episode of the podcast. My wife was at a conference all week, so I was home alone. Couple of nights, maybe a little bit of bourbon involved. Just get random thoughts and ideas, and I decided to write them down. So just some. Yeah. So we're gonna throw out some. These are May topics on a podcast that's usually about college football. So I drove to our HQ here, and to do so, you have to drive by a college campus here in the Portland metro area, and it's that time of year, right? It's graduation time. I had always said that if I could bottle up the feeling of, now go with me, it's Friday night. Yeah. You are 13 years old. Your best friend is staying the night. It's about 5 o'clock, and you are going to Blockbuster. Ooh.
Yeah.
The feeling of walking into that smell of Blockbuster with your buddy who's staying the night.
Mom said we could get a movie and a game.
Exactly. And before you notice that all the good movies are all checked out, before you know that all the games are checked out, just the moment you walk in and you get that hit of Blockbuster, I always said, if I could bottle that feeling and sell it, I could be a billionaire.
Yeah.
More on billionaires later. I think I may have topped that feeling. As I'm driving here in a beautiful spring day, sophomore year of college, you're living off campus, you just finished your last final on Wednesday afternoon, and you don't leave till Friday. Is that a better feeling than you and your buddy going to Blockbuster? Sophomore year college, finals are over.
I think that's the same impossibility of comparing Jordan to LeBron. It's just two peaks of two different eras.
Yeah.
You know, you can't possibly do that. Man, I remember it's not the exact same timeline, but I remember my freshman year of college at Montana, and I remember not like loving first semester just because like you love those first couple weeks where like everything's new and exciting, you're in college, and then you kind of go like, boy, I guess I might actually get a little homesick. But then like you find your people, you kind of fall into things. And we had just gotten our group of 5 together who was like, let's all get a house together, guys. Like we're gonna live off campus, we're gonna do this. And I remember we like signed the lease for it the last week of like freshman year, and so we're still like kind of finishing stuff up at the dorms, but like you're kind of moving stuff out there. And we had the finals, we like threw like a end of year like a preview for next year type of like have friends over, barbecue, and it was just I could probably live that week for a very long time.
I did see some barbecues as I was driving through that campus, some barbecues sitting out on the front porch, some stuff being packed up clearly, but like there's always a lot of couches.
This time of year driving by UP, and that always kind of makes me a little nostalgic. You're like, man, that couch has probably seen some things.
Yes, but that last week when like you can move, it's springtime, and it's like we've had a really nice bit of weather here. It was like, we can move the couch out to the front yard. Like, what do you think? Normally the couch is on the inside. What if we put it on the outside? Nobody will see that coming.
Dude, beer pong on the front lawn. Everyone's going to come by.
I just thought of like what that I mean, you get great feelings in your life, right? You and I, we've had a wedding day, for crying out loud, but you finish finals on Wednesday and you're not going home till Friday. You might even push it to Saturday. And like you're done. You feel good about finals too. Like you're not sweating it, and just you've got 3 days. World is your oyster. What a time.
I liked that time too, but senior year where it's like you finish finals, people are having like graduation parties and stuff, and like you're running into like your professors there too, and because you're no longer a student, it's like your first time of them being like, hey, I'm gonna redact the name, but one of my favorite teachers in Montana was just like, hey man, like, no, you got that big keg for your graduation party, probably didn't kill it, did you? No, well, I'm going to come on up and watch hockey playoffs. How about we kill that keg? You know, it's just like, oh, we're equals now. Like,
we're the same.
That might have been the realization that professors don't make enough money to ever pass up a free beer. But
and it's funny because as you said that, sitting here at my age, thinking like that's pretty lame. Yeah. But I would imagine being a 22-year-old, and like, oh, he wants to come have beers and watch hockey with us. Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a grown adult now, I think like, why don't you just buy your own beer and watch hockey playoffs with your friends?
I actually just think it's a sound business plan.
So, all right. So I had that thought.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. That's Jordan, LeBron. You can't. 2 different eras. Can't compare, even though Jordan's better. All right. For years, Tyson, I have said that the greatest sports innovation, in my opinion, the greatest sports innovation that we have seen in terms of sports on TV.
Oh, I know where you're going with that. I have an idea.
Is the yellow first down marker. The laser puck, we tried. It didn't work. What was it called?
Was it puck track?
Might have been
or something like that.
Yeah. We tried it. That didn't work. Doesn't mean it was a bad thought, but you know what? Sometimes it just doesn't work. But I have always said that is the greatest sports on TV innovation, because once it happened, you were like, how did we ever get to where I watch games in person at Autzen Stadium looking for the yellow line and wondering like, how on earth did we ever live barbarically? Close second was having the score and time on all the time.
Correct.
Because there was a time where it, like pre-1994, there wasn't a score on the TV.
I feel like back then they had to like they were charged per second, almost like text messages back then. Like if you want to use a score bug, it's going to cost you $5.
Yeah, we got to wait till after 5.
Yeah.
Where does Golf Tracer fit into that ranking system? I don't know if it's better than yellow first down line, but I think we have like an argument of the next generation of greatest sports on TV innovation, because now I could never watch a golf tournament if they don't show me the tracer and where the ball's going.
Are they showing you the tracer on the live shot, or are they showing it on replay? Okay,
they're showing. So
yeah,
right now, golf tracers are so good that every drive and really approach shot, you are getting the flight of the ball.
I think that helps because like you don't have to necessarily hope for like the quick camera pan to tracking the ball in the air and then kind of like that disorienting, like, wow, is he over the fairway? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's good. My only complaint, and this isn't even so much golf, but again, I'll go back to being at the baseball series this week at UCLA. On the stat table, they had basically like a StatCast like sort of machine that had spin rate, it had a launch angle, it had exit velocity, and it had like home run distance. And there were a lot of home runs hit in this series. UCLA is a pretty darn good baseball team, and it would give you like exact measurements. Like even like Oregon, Junior Lilaki had just this moonshot off the batter's eye, and you look at the thing and it's like, okay, 109 off the bat and 425 to deep center, which is really cool. Like I love that. I nerd out about it, but also me being kind of like a baseball's kind of about legends and kind of myth making.
Yeah.
And this gives you just kind of everything. Like I would have told, boy, he hit this like moonshot to dead center field, almost put a hole in the batter's eye. Yeah, but it was only 425 feet. Like with the launch, it was one. Mm-hmm. Like it kind of takes a little bit of like the. I guess as a journalist, I shouldn't be opposed to this, but it takes a little bit of the tall tale out of it.
Yeah, I mean
but from like a TV viewing thing on golf, like immediately the tracer allows you to be know what's writing on the shot as it's happening.
Because like the reason I bring it up is like I could go back and watch. I could watch if the exit velo and all those like in time stats didn't exist on TV. I think it's like Apple TV runs all that stuff. They also put a bunch of analytics that you don't need on there as well. Like if that all went away, I could still sit and enjoy a baseball game, knowing that it did exist and it doesn't exist anymore. I could not enjoy a football game knowing what I know now of a yellow first down marker and also where the line of scrimmage was. Like I can't watch a game any other way. And so I think the golf tracer has become that for me now. I also watch a lot of golf. And like knowing that we could have a tracer if they just took it away, I don't know if I could go back. Just like we couldn't go back to they only post the score sometimes.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
So I think it's in there. I mean, we're this close away from doing a Mount Rushmore segment, which we're not going to do, but I think it's in the conversation of maybe greatest innovations of sports on TV, right there with the first down marker.
Okay, what's your next? What sport needs to be innovated? I'm not saying what is the next innovation, because if you knew that, you wouldn't be sitting here. You wouldn't be sitting here with sun in your eyes on this podcast.
Very true.
But what sport do you think needs the next?
I don't know, because basketball needs something.
Did you see? Well, actually, I guess this is more about the actual game than the broadcast. But I saw like Steve Kerr talking about they need to take away the 3-point line. I saw
Steve Kerr says that.
Yeah,
it's interesting. His whole career, both playing and coaching.
He said they should wait until after Steph Curry retires to do this. But I saw. Man, I don't want to. I think this might have been a Simmons thing, but he was talking about basketball teams should be allowed to set their 3-point line where they want to.
Just like when the Mariners had maybe one of the greatest home run hitters of all time, and they built a pitcher's park. Yeah, that was. Yeah. They did that. Oh, Safeco's beautiful, by the way.
Not everybody. Beautiful. I mean, there's a reason why some teams win, some teams lose.
Marine layer.
Not every idea is great.
It wasn't the stadium; it was the marine layer. I get it. Safeco's beautiful, though.
Okay, so obviously baseball just had the ABS thing come in with umpires, and we've talked about that already. It was interesting watching I did all 3 games of this series. We had our seats right behind the umpire. Both teams did not like how the game was being called, and there is no ABS in college baseball right now, and it's kind of jarring to do that whiplash of something that you've become so accustomed to. And so there's fans in the stands kind of doing
they're all tapping their head.
Yeah.
That is one of the things, like watching NFL and then college football, and I don't watch like a ton of high school football, but like state championship time comes around, you see some stuff on your feed, and you see like every once you'll see like a bad call, and you go like, well, why would? And then you forget, like, oh yeah, they don't have replay. You just have to sit in it. You just have to just deal with it. Like, they just made a bad call, and now you just have to deal with it. I think, like, again, by the way, to add to the list of great TV innovations, you're a racket sports enthusiast. The Hawkeye thing in tennis, awesome.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. The whole crowd gets into it.
And it takes like it could be faster, but they don't because they want to
Well, there's some tension to it.
There's a little bit of tension.
I think that's the closest thing to the ABS thing because ABS could have been terrible if it took a long time, but it happens quickly. There's a pro or con payoff to it for everyone in the stands right away.
Yeah. Are they eventually just going to get to where there's no challenges? I think, but not even no challenges. Like if it's not right down the middle or in the dirt. Like the umpire is just going to have a thing in his ear.
It is,
and there's like that was on the corner. That's a strike.
I mean, that's ultimately like
because that's what the Hawkeye thing does, right? There's no more lines judges in tennis, right? They're gone. They lost their jobs.
I love how salted the earth baseball likes to carry itself. You know, it's kind of country unwritten rules, like all this. But it's also like the sport where the coaches wear pajamas, where everyone has like superstitions. Like every 10 years, pitchers go through like a different, like this is the jewelry we're wearing. And ultimately, we're going to have a costumed actor behind home plate that's just displaying what the computer's telling you.
Yes, exactly right. 100%.
We got to have this guy in costume for tradition. You know, it's
how would we even play without some fairly large man behind the plate? Yeah, like you said, in a costume. And also, when you really break it down, like he's calling balls and strikes, but he won't say ball or strike.
Yeah.
Like, if you never,
how'd they get away with that?
I don't know if that's an evolution, but like strike is just and then ball. They don't say ball. They just say away. Yeah. They just say where it was. So like you're calling balls and strikes, but you're not. You're kind of making a signal, and you're not even really you're not even saying the words.
It is funny to me though that if they were to just get rid of all of the umps. A lot of people, probably including us, would be talking about how you're losing a little bit of the character of the game and something that, does everything need to be perfect and automated and all those sorts of things. At the same time, in game 2 of Oregon UCLA, it was like chippy from the start, and Oregon's starting pitcher Colin Clark struck out the first batter of the game. He just kind of stared him down to the dugout a little bit. The ump immediately gets up and warns both teams and is going to mount it just immediately involved himself in it. And it was like that the whole game. So I tweeted out something like, boy, the umps are doing a great job of legislating any fun out of it. So you go between this, like, screw these guys, they're ruining to the game, and then they'll take them away. And I'll be like, boy, they ruined the game.
Yeah, and by the way, if they ever do get to robot umpires, it's not going to be – there will be problems. Just like they went to replay and like baseball replay, how great is this, right? You just get the call right. And then as it turns out, for like 100 years, if the ball beat you, whether you put a slide in or not, you were out. Or if you beat the tag – if your pinky popped up off of the base for like a millisecond while the guy still held the ball on you, you were still safe. And any infielder that did the hold the ball on till you was just an asshole.
Yep. And
would probably wear one the next inning. Now it's just common because that's what replay. So I hope all you replay people know, like, there is no free lunch with this. Like something will be missed. And while it's easy to make fun of the goofy guys behind the plate who don't even say strike, but if you make it a robot, there's an unintended consequence that we don't even know of.
It is jarring just to go from a sport like sitting courtside for NCAA hoops where you can hear the players, and there's so much trash talk that happens in college basketball. If you get down on the football field, there are a lot of not great words said.
Oh my God, it's incredible.
There's a lot of extracurricular stuff and then you cover a baseball series. It's intense. Both teams are top 25 in the country, and the umps start threatening to kick people out for staring.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, man, I'm I'd like to consider myself a bit of a baseball purist, but like, and I don't even think this is necessarily in the like you got to let the kids play sort of thing. It's just like you're injecting yourself into this a little bit.
Yeah,
too,
and also if there is a little bit of trash talk and if there is a little bit of emotion, you know what? It's okay. We're all grown adults.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who you're helping.
These kids are making more money than you. Well, it's baseball. They're probably not making more money than
quite,
you.
But maybe. Okay. Next thought I had. You mentioned home run hitters in the 90s. I grew up, obviously, as a baseball fan of the 90s, as you did. We were both Ken Griffey Jr. fans. Knowing, do I need to see any evidence? Don't care. Griffey never did steroids. Everybody else did. Mm-hmm. I just know that for a fact. This is going to be really weird. But
yeah, no, I'm ready for it.
It's like the one guy like Griffey who was hitting and not using steroids in the 90s. Like, is that the feeling that maybe somebody has now who's like actually losing weight without Ozempic? Like somebody out there, Tyson, is made a decision to focus on their health and is cutting their calories and is moving their body and is going for a jog, joining a gym and drop some LBs. And the first thing anybody's going to say is like, you on Ozempic? Whereas like, is that like, what if Brady Anderson just hit 45 bombs, right? Like, what if that just was what if Brett Boone just decided to hit bombs? You know what I'm saying?
I lost some weight this year, Justin, and it
you look great.
And it's been kind of slow and gradual, and it happened to start kind of right around the time I got a new job. Oh boy, look, I must be paying him well, right? He can. Yeah, I understand this one.
Do you feel this? Thank you.
Boy, he did it clean, and he's not getting the credit.
Exactly right. Like somebody out there worked their tail off, lost 20, 30, 40 pounds, and somebody's gonna. They may not say it, but they're gonna whisper it.
You always have this dream of like, boy, one day I'm gonna do like the one Facebook post acknowledgement of like, boy, I put in a lot of hard work,
mm-hmm.
and
yeah,
and now it's just.
So
now that's turned into like the annoying LinkedIn post.
Exactly. And so this is my other thought. There was, Tyson, a time in my life where I let myself go a little bit, and I had to reel it in.
You were experiencing life.
A lot of life, yeah. And life being Taco Bell and lots of beers. And
what are you doing later?
Sounds good, doesn't it? But no, I got into radio, and turns out in radio you sit and talk like we do now, and they just bring you food. There's so much food, and I ballooned up. I got out of control. It was bad.
Do they still do that in radio?
No, radio's dying a slow death, which is why I'm here and you're on a podcast.
So that's why they're all thinner now.
Are they?
I don't know.
I don't.
We'll go name by name next episode.
He is Big Sook. I mean, just saying. So I got sick one time, went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, yeah, you need to lose some weight. And I was like, Doc, I'm here for a sore throat.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, we'll fix that. You're in your 20s. Your blood pressure's through the roof.
Doc, you just had me cough.
Yeah, like, what do you mean? So took me a while, but I lost 20 years ago a significant amount of weight. There was no Ozempic 20 years ago. So my question to you is, am I Roger Maris?
Ooh. No. Well, but you probably got compliments when you did back then, right?
Yeah, just like Roger Maris won MVP, and he was the home run king for a while.
Yeah, but there were all the stories of like everyone didn't want him to break Babe Ruth's record. He was being heckled. There was so much pressure. He went bald because of that, Justin.
Yeah.
You still have a glorious thick head of hair.
It's still hanging in there.
Still highlighted by the sun.
Yeah. Well, because I didn't want to say I didn't want to compare myself to Babe Ruth. I feel like I was more like Roger Maris. Like he won an MVP.
He did.
And in the end,
No,
he was remembered at, like, his status was elevated because everyone knew what he did. And so, yeah, compared to like what guys were doing in the 90s. And so I just wonder, like me in the mid 2000s, dropping a significant amount of weight, knowing what people are doing in like the mid 2020s now. Like, I just had to eat salads and jog.
Yeah, but like I don't think you're ever going to, because like you went through the whole thing where McGuire breaks Maris's record and he has Maris's wife there sitting along the first baseline, gives her a big hug. And then the Marises just kind of became forgotten a little bit when McGuire broke 61 a couple more times, and Sammy Sosa did it and Barry Bonds did it. But I feel like there was enough scoring towards the steroid era that some of those numbers have kind of come back around to being cool. Yeah. So like when Aaron Judge hit, what did Aaron Judge hit? 60.
I think he was 60, right?
60 something. Cal Raleigh hit 60 last year. I think Judge got to. I think he tied or broke Maris's thing.
Yes.
It got cool. It got cool again. So like I don't know.
Yeah, breaking into college football games to watch Aaron Judge bat.
So I don't. I feel like you're going to have to talk about it more in order to get the or what you're going to have to do, Justin, is if you want your proper acknowledgement and you want proper cool, you're going to have to put it back on and do it clean once more time.
Do it clean one more time? Yeah, well, because, just like McGuire and Sosa and Rafael Palmeiro, right? They wagged the finger at everybody. It's like, no way. I haven't done that. Like there are people out there who are dropping weight and going like, nope, I'm not. Yeah. No GLP-1 for me, but interesting, like but then on both injections with steroids in the 90s and then the GLP-1s. But yeah, like
so let me ask you a question, Mr. Seelig. Do you think it made the game better? What's your next topic?
All right. I mentioned more on billionaire sports owners, right?
Yeah.
We've had talk on this show about a new owner of the Blazers and exactly. And I don't know if it's fear mongering or if it's an actual legitimate, like, hey, pay attention to this. But there's been a lot of chatter about
will they, won't they?
Will they,
what's
won't
happening,
they?
What's not
happening?
Yeah.
And I don't know enough, but I hope that clearly it turns out to be all for naught, and that the Blazers stay, and that the Moda Center deal turns out to be just fine. I hope that. But then it got me thinking about if I had the money, right? If all of a sudden, some reason, I had enough money to where I could buy a team, what would I do? And I'm going to ask you this. Would you, let's say you had enough money to where you could put up an offer too much to refuse.
Right.
Would you buy your favorite team? Or would you buy your favorite team's rival and make them mediocre?
I love this big brain thinking. This is...
Because everybody thinks like, oh, I'm going to be a billionaire. I'm going to buy the Steelers. And I'm like, what if... what if I let the Rooneys keep the Steelers... and I buy the Ravens, and I make them stink.
So this is...
I just sign every bad signing you could do.
This is essentially Major League, but you actually really like the sport so much so that you bought the team, not to try to get them to move, but to destroy them internally.
Yeah,
so they're not.
So you could take, like, again, I hate the Ravens. Mm-hmm. What if I just made the Ravens... and, like, you'd have to... you couldn't make them terrible.
Right.
Like, the Browns are already terrible. Like, you just make them mediocre. Mm-hmm. And so nobody's wise to you. But, like, secretly, you're making a certain fan base miserable. Like, what would be a more enjoyable way to spend your money? Being in charge of your favorite team, or making your most hated team's fan base miserable by being a terrible owner?
The thing... well... it depends. It's going to depend on your personality, because you do have to like have an inherent amount of like getting off on being a troll in you if you're doing that, because like no one's gonna like you in that city. And even if it's for like, you know, you're kind of like Bruce Wayneing it, like you're the superhero that nobody knows, like you're doing it behind closed doors. The trade-off to that is, I don't know if I got really rich, Justin, I don't know if I'd want to own the Mariners, because I think I'd be a good owner. I don't know if I'd be a good owner. I don't want suddenly like everyone that like I'm a fan with to like have the option to hate me.
Yeah, and then you would have no one to complain to.
Exactly.
Just the person in the mirror. That would stink.
Boy, my parents sure didn't teach me how to own this baseball team.
That's why I think maybe that's the key. Like you ever get to a place where you can own a team, just own a team you don't like.
Okay, so
and make them mediocre.
Okay, so you're
one of those like shadow owners that like nobody ever really sees.
Okay, so Justin, you are a potential future billionaire.
Let's do it.
Your current favorite sports teams are the Pittsburgh Steelers. You like your Atlanta Braves. We don't really care about any of the other sports.
Nope.
Would you buy one of those two teams? Or is there another sport or another franchise, or like, let's say you have the money, like, would you just be like, I'm going to go enter into Premier League soccer,
just something new,
and take over something new that I don't like? You could go do the Ryan Reynolds Wrexham 2.0 sort of thing.
And they made a lot of money with that.
They did.
They really did. No, I think I'd have to be emotionally involved.
Yeah.
I think so, which would make me a terrible owner.
Justin Rooney.
Like, we make fun of like Jerry Jones, but like we would all be him.
Yeah.
Like every single, like, oh, Jerry Jones, you just give up control. It's like, really? If you were in charge of your favorite team, you would just be like, I can't do this. You take care. I clearly don't know what's best.
The guy has a button on his car and it opens up the stadium roof. Like that's pretty good living.
Pretty awesome. So yeah, it was just a random thought of like, what if you just made like, or like, what if I just positioned myself as like a Washington Husky booster, but then like NIL'd like not good players, and then any player that gets good, I just pull their NIL. But I'm the big booster, so Jed Fish can't complain, or I take all the money. There
is always like the problem of like you have good owners who like you have owners who want to be good and they're just not good at it.
Yeah.
What if you wanted to be bad and you actually accidentally happen to lead your rival team to
that would be the worst. That would be my nightmare. Yeah. Yes, 100%. Yeah, that's the Rachel Phelps. Like that's Major League, right? Wanted to build a team to relocate to Miami, and it turns out they won the whole bleeping thing.
I love how that is kind of like the go-to, we need to do a sports TV show or movie, because like that's essentially Ted Lasso, right? Mm-hmm. She hires the goofy American coach because she wants to get back at her ex-husband, and we should write a movie one of these days. We really should. You know, we'll do a live do a live corridor tape.
All right, we got to delete this, and that's the premise.
Okay,
is some fan of a team accidentally creates some tech app that gets sold to Apple for $60 billion. And they decide, I'm going to try to make my biggest rival mediocre. And then the hilarity that ensues of blunders and missteps, and people are getting on like, oh, wait, are you trying to make us? No.
Coming this summer to Paramount Plus.
Boom. I think there's something there, right? Something? All right, I got two more things.
Okay.
I've fallen off watching new movies. I've become my grumpy old man thing has been I don't go to movie theaters anymore. I loved movies when I was a kid, loved movies as a young adult. For some reason, I became my age. My TV is really nice.
Yeah, it is. I've heard. Anyways.
The backyard TV,
again,
which
I've
you've been invited.
I've heard all tales about that one.
Yep. Really go to the Long Branch, but
tree fall in the woods.
But I just watch TV. I watch movies at home now.
Yeah.
But what it does is like, and there hasn't been a lot of like, hey, everybody's watching this and talking about it. But every once in a while, like, you'll watch a movie, you're like, oh, I get it. This movie is awesome. I watched Sinners.
Yeah.
Which is like, I'm like 6-7 months late.
Yeah.
And I watched it and it was awesome. And I was just like, who do I talk to about this? Like, there should be an online forum of like people who watch movies like a year late.
Yeah.
They're just like, hey, have you watched Sinners yet?
Most of those people have kids.
Oh, so okay. Yeah, I don't. I'm just lazy.
I still actually prefer the theater experience. And part of it too is up here in St. John's, we have 2 little small theaters like within walking distance. It's just kind of nice and convenient. One of my absolute favorite things is like on a good summer day, like when you see a blockbuster at like maybe 4 p.m. and you walk out of the theater and it's still warm, and maybe you go across the street to Slim's or something. And I love that. I have come around to I think what that does is it puts a pedestal though on like what I like want us, like it has to be like a certain level movie to go see in the theater, just because again I love seeing in theater, but I do love convenience, and I have a nice enough TV here. You're paying for all these things anyways, you might as well.
Exactly.
We did see Sinners in theater last year.
Exactly. I watched it at my house on Saturday, and let me tell you, awesome. I get it. I get why they won the Oscar now. I didn't watch the Oscars because I didn't watch any of the movies nominated, and it won, and I get it.
Yeah.
Tip of the cap, got it right.
Yeah.
Without me having to see any of the other movies.
And it was great in theater too, because that's just like there's great music and sound, and it's visually.
Did you know about it going in?
I had heard a little bit of like this because that movie went through this thing of like it got good reviews when it started, but it didn't make $100 million its first weekend. So a bunch of people started kind of doing like the Hollywood, is this a failure sort of thing?
Yeah.
But then it got like the backlash to the backlash, where people are like screw you, like this is a great movie, it's doing fine. And so like I think I saw a little bit of that of like, no, like this is a good movie, go see it. And so we went and saw it, and it's on, I think, HBO now.
Yes.
Is that what you watched? Yeah, we've watched it like 2 or 3 times at home. Like it's
awesome.
I don't want to be a sports podcast that uses the term rewatchable, but like it's very rewatchable. There's so many scenes in that movie that you can just drop into. You're like, all right, I'll watch this. Like,
I knew there was a thing, but I didn't know like the specifics of it. And I was like, all right, I'm going in for kind of fresh. I knew that like certain point in the movie, big twist.
Yeah.
Didn't know what it was though, like specifically. It was a fun surprise.
Yeah.
It was fun. Also brought back a lot of, if you haven't watched that particular movie, you should now move ahead in the podcast. Turns out, being a kid who grew up in the 80s and 90s, I knew a lot of vampire rules still.
Yeah.
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 Can't bring them in your house. Garlic, silver bullet,
They haven't
holy
evolved,
water.
yeah.
Like, I still remember all the rules.
It's baseball, and without the ABS, without the it's
exactly right. The unwritten rules of vampire.
Do you know what I appreciated about that movie? I don't like scary movies. I don't really like vampire. I really just don't like pop out movies that just like are trying to like get you to
Yeah.
And so
the jump scare, I believe they call it.
Yeah, and so while that movie has like an overlaying layer of like there's vampires out there, whatever, like there's nothing gratuitous. I can't talk today. That word in there without being like earned.
Yeah.
Like it's just like they're not just trying to like
the cheap gratuitous jump scares.
There you go.
Yeah. So it was awesome.
Okay.
And I watched it 7 months late, and I get it now. All right, last thing, and I saved this one for last. This summer, there's a couple of concerts that you and I will both be attending. I don't know if we're not sitting together, but we'll both be at said
Ryan.
concert. And Chris Stapleton, I believe you.
Yeah.
We're going to be at both of those concerts. I am right on the cusp of, like, I don't stay out late, but I still like that my concerts start at 9:30 and go till 11.
Yeah.
Like, I want a concert to go till 11. I'm not one of the olds who are like, no, you should start it.
You're not catching like the Sunday matinee.
You should start it at 7 and we'll be done by 9. It's like, most things, yes. I'm not ready to give up. If we're going to do a concert, we're going to be out late. It's going to be awesome.
You're taking everything that comes with it.
Yeah. So with that being said, where are you on encores? Because encores used to be a thing where, right, Elvis would leave and everybody would continue to stand and applaud, and he'd come out and give them one more song, just as a thank you for all of the applause. And now it's a manufactured event. Like, he hasn't played his hit yet. He's coming back. Like, whether we stand here and clap or not, the house lights are still down.
Or you've seen the internet set list and you know that they do this at every single show that they...
Yeah. So now that we know that the encore is just, it's performative, should encores be eliminated and just play the songs?
Should they just play the 7th inning stretch during it? Like, because essentially that's what it's turned into. It lets them go off stage, probably get a little drink,
probably
to, like, catch their breath.
Or are you like me? I can suspend the disbelief. Like, can you please just? I know that you're coming back, but pretend that you're not for a minute, and then I'm gonna pretend to be surprised when you come back because I know you haven't played your number one song. And
it's the closest to being a pro wrestling fan that the average like American goes through. It's like we know this is fake, but God damn it, it's still real to me. It's still real to me, damn it.
That championship belt is changing hands, and this means something.
I think there should be a rule that you can carry on with the current encore system where, I mean, shoot, I remember going to a Foo Fighters concert in Missoula, and they did their encore, and their encore was 13 songs, and you're just like, so you guys just had these in your back pocket?
Yeah.
Like come on, guys, come on. I think you should still be able to go about it that way, but you should have like a 9 out of 10 rule. Like, you can, like, 1 out of every 10 times you have to do like a
just leave. Like, you guys didn't earn it. That would be the worst.
And that way, like, every city can still like enjoy that, because you know, like, the old concert thing was like front man would show up and be like, all right, welcome Portland, you guys are way better than the schmucks up in Seattle. Yeah! Crowd goes crazy. Of
course
those guys didn't even get an encore last week. You know, like
yeah.
you can play it off and you can milk that for
so
a couple of weeks.
So give it one not really a warning shot, but just like a hey.
Yeah, just like, hey,
we will pack it up.
Yeah.
And you saw what happened in Boise. Like, so if you want the encore, I like that.
Yeah, you know,
like your style.
Yeah, because like you want to earn it, but also like in this life, we know if you want to earn it, it's still like kind of down to luck of the draw.
But like, how would that blow up the internet though? If just like one like major artist just decides like one night we're not doing an encore, and then it's like, could you imagine like the TikToks?
Would you? Okay, so let me ask you a question. How would your experience at a concert be if they played 20 songs, went off stage, then they did a 3-song encore, so 23 songs total, versus if they came out and did 23 songs?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like if you got the same net total, is it better having that little like kind of like climax and then?
Yeah, I like the hey, we're out of here, and you're like, wait, the Eagles didn't play Hotel California yet, and it's like, I think they're coming back. Like
the Village people haven't even done YMCA.
Like, I know they're coming back. You know they're coming back. We've looked at the set list. They're coming back, but there's still that little like, but maybe they're not. The house lights are still down, but like still doesn't. And then when they come back, it's like, I knew you were coming back, and I like it. I just like it.
Well, we'll be back next week, or maybe we won't. We'll see how many of you listen and comment and like and share. And
best episode yet.
That was fun.